All right. So let me load a file. So I'm going to load the Elephant Trunk. Why isn't it? Oh no, sorry, wrong thing. Open. Elephant Trunk. Open. Okay, so I've got it set in the preferences to auto stretch the file when it opens. So if you look down here, it's got auto stretch. So obviously linear, you only see that. So okay, on this auto stretch up here, you see I think it's just this camera that he uses that gives it that big green cross. So let's just go through the steps. The normal steps would be background extraction. I normally put the tolerance, put it down, and then it leaves out some of the nebulosity. So if you double click in one spot with a right click, it removes more than one square around if you want to get that nebula a bit sorted out there. So I'm just going to quickly apply this to see what happens. I've got one already done, which I can load. So just to complete background. If anybody wants to ask questions, just jump in. All right, so I'm just going to leave it at that for the moment. Actually, just run with that. Apply. All right, then you normally run all the color calibrations in my procedure and most people's with Siril. So you select a bit of background that you want to use as a reference. You just do that and you say use current selection, and you click background neutralization, and it does that. And then if you want to do white reference, then you click that, you select the white area, and you say apply, and it balances to your white balance. And then you can close that one, and then the next one in color calibration would be photometric. So this is, what's its name again?
Placeholder.
Yeah, so I just want to see, sorry, that's the wrong one. What's this thing called? IC13. I just want to search for it. Oh man, close the wrong thing. You get this out of the way. Image processing, color calibration, photometric. Why is it like this? All right.
There you are.
I just want to find the name of this thing here. It is called IC1396. And you say find.
IC13.
Oh, I haven't typed in the IC.
Yeah.
All right. And then I know that Blair's focal length for this was 840. And his pixel size was 3.76. And then you say, okay. And essentially, for anybody that doesn't know this, what this does is it compares it to the actual real colors of the stars in that image, and then it actually converts it or resets the colors to be the exact realistic balance of what it should be. All right, so that's done. All right, then we do, right, let me check my list. I've got a list here if anybody wants this workflow. All right. And then we go back, then we do go back to linear. And then you go to, so then you remove the stars. So one of the, by the way, you might have noticed that I've been working in the RGB panel all the time. Previously with Siril, you had to go to one of the color channels and only work in that. These functions wouldn't work in the RGB, but now they do. So that's one of the new things in the new Siril. Also, StarNet is completely integrated into Siril now. It's part of the thing, so you can run it from here. You've just got to, when the first time you install the Siril beta, you've just got to tell it where the StarNet folder is so it can refer to it. Come on. All right, so we go to, not scripts, star processing, StarNet star removal. And then you want to select pre-stretch because we're in the linear view. And you just say execute. Now this normally takes a couple of minutes, so I'm going to stop. Has it stopped? I don't know.
Looks like it.
Okay, and then I'm going to open the, it's taking its time to stop now. It doesn't like me stopping. Oh no. Close the program, open the program. Come on, what's going on? Sorry, I'm just going to have to try and get this worked out. Oh, there we go. All right, so then I'm going to open the starless image. That's one. Yeah, so elephant trunk. Elephant trunk. I need the foot starless elephant trunk. That one. Oh, this is the one that was already processed. Sorry. I've got one that isn't processed. Starless. Ah, they're already processed. Okay, do you mind if I redo this? As I want to go through the process because that's actually the new part. I'm going to yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to open, I'm just going to show you that it doesn't matter. All right, so the new thing is this generalized hyperbolic stretch transformation. You know, no, sorry, I'm gonna have to do the thing from the start. You're just going to have to have a bit of patience, sorry. Let's just redo this. No, not that one. Sorry, we're just going to have to redo this. Background. There we go. Oh no, didn't apply it. So you got this little blue line showing your progress at the bottom. And in your click apply, all right, that's done. I'm just going to jump to color calibration photometric. Okay, can anyone remember that IC 1396?
1369, I think.
Let's just check it. 1396.
1396. Yeah, great.
Find. That's 840. That's 3.76. So okay. All right. Let's just jump then to the. Let's just remove the stars. Don't want to get out of my way. All right. Star processing, star it. Pre-stretch, execute. So let's have 2 minutes patience here.
This obviously, I assume, Derek, while we wait, is the latest software edition of Siril.
Yeah, they had a beta version which you could download, but you had to sort of load that with other programs. But now this is the actual full running program. You just download an install file and it runs, from as a normal program. So this is, it's just been released a couple of weeks ago. Have you ever used Siril, Dion?
Yeah, I did now a few days ago, but I didn't get the new software yet. I did 083 of Blair, and I think I got quite a nice image at the end.
All right.
But I will.
This one is he's just released a few days ago. This is 84, Elephant Trunk Nebula.
Yeah,
it's quite nice data. It's quite fun to process. I just want to go through the StarNet options now while we're waiting. If I click that again, okay. See, it's got this option here: recompose stars on completion, and then it puts the stars back in your image as though they haven't been removed, but they are in a separate sort of entity. And then it brings up two, if you do the generalized hyperbolic stretch and so on, it brings up two panels, one for the nebulas and one for the stars. But I prefer to not recompose the stars after you remove them, and first process the nebulas, because then you can do things like doing noise and color saturation and so on separately. It's not just the stretching that you want to do other things. I prefer to do all that on the nebulosity, and then you do the recombination. That you still get the two separate stretching controls for the nebulosity and the stars separately, which is fantastic. Right, so we're running there. We're running about halfway.
Now I can see there are quite a few additional processes here that is not in the older version.
Yeah, there's a lot. And by the way, what I can maybe show you, the manual. I don't check if I've got it. I think I've got it here. There we go. Siril user manual. It's about 250 pages. It's a massive manual, and I looked at some of the stuff. There's I look at all these things you can, everything. It goes into the detailed mathematics of everything. It's unbelievable. So this manual you download from obviously the same place we download the exec file, install file. So it goes into everything in detail. The manual is fantastic.
Yeah.
How far we're now? 3/4, yeah. So I was looking at, there's a new option called, if you go to star processing, full resynthesis. What it does, if you've got stars that are not round, it does, it first, you click that little cog on the right of the command there, and then that takes you to a PSF, it produces a point spread function. It first identifies all the stars in your image, and there, obviously different images have different sort of parameters. So you've got to adjust a few, there's a number of 6 or 8 parameters you've got to adjust until you get all your stars. You can also manually select one star at a time if you want to add in stars. And then it puts like a circle around those stars. And then you go to full resynthesis and you just click on it. And what it does is, if you've got sort of blown out stars with just a white core, it mathematically sort of takes on the edge of the star. It has got some useful data about sort of what lights and what frequencies are in that star. And then it goes and makes a new perfectly round star, not a skew star, and it puts in the correct light inside that star to make it look like a normal star. It's incredible, and it's quick. I watched one guy there. This is finished now. All right. So there we've got our star list, and our star mask has been saved. So now we can go to the, I'm just going to make this bigger there. Now we can go to the generalized hyperbolic stretch transformation to demonstrate that. Okay. So all right, so you've got a whole lot of options here. You can do the GHT, you can do an inverse, you can do the modified arcsine, inverse modified arcsine, and linear stretch. And then, so within this GHT, you've got various models here. The independent channel value is the best one for nebulas. Human weighted luminance I find is the best one for stars. It preserves the star color. The other thing, by the way, if you hover your mouse over the things here, if I hold it there, come on. It normally pops up with a, they've got a lot of pop-ups on each command explaining in a lot of detail what it does. It's incredible what you can learn just from looking through the program. Okay, so now all our data is unstretched there on the left, so you can magnify this. The maximum is 100. So I'll do 100, so you see it's now come across there. So then you want to set your symmetry point, because what this thing does, it makes a sort of a S curve. So the symmetry point is to the left of your symmetry point. You just click there and you see it's jumped there to that point. The other option, you can do a little square on your image and then click on the dropper, and then it will do the same thing. For your initial stretch, you want to maximize the local stretch according to the guys on YouTube. You can adjust shadow protection and highlight protection later on. Okay, so we've got all the channels selected, and then you just stretch until you start seeing something. Let's wait for the preview to catch up. You want to go a bit more. So this is just your initial. So if you look at the graph now at this line, you see where I put in the symmetry point. It's sort of holding that, anchoring that downward. And then if you look at the right-hand side here, if you've got, say, some very bright high point somewhere in your image, you can bring the highlight protection down. Did you see that line drop there on the right? So that's what that does. Same thing with shadow protection. It preserves your blacks. You move this up, but you can't move it up higher than the symmetry point. So I want to undo that. I don't want to do that. All right, so that's an initial stretch. We can apply that. And then you can pop this back to normal scale. And now you can see your data there. So then you can, some people then want to then actually go and, just as an example, what the inverse hyperbolic transform moves your graph the opposite way. So if you set you click there, you see it set your symmetry point to about halfway. If you now go and stretch it, just watch what the graph does. See, it increases your data and decreases the high point there. But this, it's not suited to this particular image. But just to show what that does. What you can also do now, if you go to select linear stretch, this just adjusts the black point. You can then just, if you want to increase your black point a bit, apply that. You can see there's a huge amount of choices in the various things here. I think we want to stretch this a bit. What do you think? I'll just show you what the local stretch intensity does. Gone too far. But if I move this while that is there, then you can see not that one. This thing takes a massive amount of. So now I'm moving just the local stretch. You see what it does there. Just moves your data across.
Okay. It keeps the data intact, but it moves the whole curve.
Yeah. So, all right. You may want to, I don't know if it's necessary to bring down the, you don't need to adjust these shadow protection and those, I think. All right, so just to, okay, I'm just going to apply this now. And we need to do that. Close that. So I don't know if you can see any green in the background there. There is There
Yeah,
is a green.
I can see a bit green here.
Where is it again? Can you see a green in the list here? Remove green noise.
Yeah, there we are.
It's just there is an amount here. You've got various, there's also again a whole lot of choices here. Reserve lightness. Just apply that and see what it does. You see that green is completely gone now?
Yeah.
It might look a bit too blue though, instead of the green. What do you think?
Just okay. I don't know.
Should we leave it at that just to see how it looks?
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Let's do that.
Now you've done a bit of a stretch. Normally, you might want to do some more stretching, saturation, and so on. But what I want is Zoom menu keeps on getting in my way. It doesn't want to go away. I think let's have a look at the noise. So let's increase down the bottom here. You increase this magnification. Hold down Control and then move it with the mouse if you want to move it. So you can see it is fairly noisy there. So let's do a noise image processing, noise reduction. Now there's a whole lot of new options here too. There's these secondary noise things. So you start with removing salt and pepper and don't do the secondary because otherwise it takes too long. I tried running a secondary noise reduction and I sat there for 12 minutes and still wasn't finished. I had to back out of it. So I don't know if that's normal or not. So we apply this now. So you can see it's running. This thing's testing my processes to the limit. All right, that's done. 43 seconds. Does that look better?
Yeah, it's a small difference, but you can see it.
Yeah, I think what I like to do, I've got topaz denoise and I finish it off with that.
Yeah.
So we go click on the fit screen size. Go back to that. I think it looks okay when you go to normal size.
Yeah.
All right. If we want to do a bit of saturation within Siril, you can do that. Color saturation. So then you've got global, or you can select a sort of a color range and just do that range. The background factor. These menu pop-ups are not popping up now. It explains to you. If you move this to the right, there you go. See that underneath there? Explains to you what it's doing. So you move this to the right, then it won't increase the saturation on the background. If you move it to the left, then it does more of the background and less of the foreground. So if we now just globally increase the saturation, does it look more saturated?
Yeah.
All right. I don't know if you're happy with this contrast. You think we should have had more contrast or not?
I think so, Derek, but let's
for the sake of this, let's just carry on.
Yeah.
Okay, let's apply that saturation. All right, so what else can we do in Siril? All right, so now we can recombine the stars. So we go to this. Where's the star processing? Star recomposition. All right, so you get the two controls, but now you've got to load the files you want. Okay, let's cancel this So I must actually save this now. So I'm going to save it as starless elephant trunk nebula processed. It still fits files, which now it goes to 32-bit floating point. I'm not sure why. Should we leave it at that?
I don't know.
Let's leave it at that and see if it's a problem. All right, so now I go to that star processing, star recomposition. And now you click on the folder here to load your, I don't know if you have to reload it again, but let's just say you do. So what did I call that? Starless Elephant Trunk Nebula processed. Okay, so it's just the same file. I suppose if you came back the next day and you wanted to.
Yeah.
And then we load our stars. So we've got to find our star mask. Fits file. Starless, star mask. That's offset. You don't want the offset star. Star mask. Okay, open. So there your stars are now added in, but they're totally linear, totally unprocessed. That's why they're so dim. So you can, on this new menu, you see now you've got that one for the stars to adjust the stars, that one to adjust the nebula if you want to adjust it some more. So if you click on this advanced, then you get all the other options that you had on that first GHS. So you can select, again, one of these four selections if you want. So now we're on the one under the stars, okay? Now the color stretch model for the stars, they recommend using the human weighted luminance. There's the star colors. So what we really want to do is they're too dim, so we want to stretch them. There we go, they're appearing.
Yeah.
All right, so I mean, this is obviously to choice now. You can make them how bright you want. You can use this highlight protection point if you've got some stars that are very bright, but you haven't set a symmetry point. So you can set, sure. Is there a way to? What you can do is just select a bit of the background. Click on that. You've got to have a symmetry point set. It's not doing anything yet. So let's just put it at 0.1. You can do that as well. Let's go on to too high now. I want to just go to 0.1. That's the lowest you can set it. All right. So now you can use the highlight protection if you want. So what do you think of the stretch here? Is that okay? Is that realistic? Do you want it less or more of the stars?
No, I think for a moment it's okay, Derek.
Yeah. All right.
Normally one would have a bit more, but let's leave it as such.
Well, now we can pump it up.
We've got lots of nebulosity here.
So that's much brighter.
Yeah. Yes, I think that's better.
There you're seeing some of the colors and stuff now. That look more realistic.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna just click on that to get rid of that square there. So then we can just apply it actually. Do we
Okay,
need
so
to
we
make
go
any
ahead.
adjustment on the? We can also adjust the. So let's say we want to adjust, say, a luminosity brighter than this. Make that our symmetry point there. And let's just stretch this a bit more. All right. See, there's a black point down here now.
I think you should move that one and see what the difference would make.
It's just taking a while to react every time.
You can click on the plus there at the right-hand side.
Yeah, yeah, you can do that too. Because that
Yeah.
looks a bit better, huh? We can still do some
Yeah,
more. Clicking on the plus doesn't go any faster.
yeah,
All right, just for purposes of this, let's apply that
yeah.
and close. All right, and then we can go to the Save As button, that arrow, and then you can select supported image files. You can have JPEG or you can have TIFF. You can have TIFF if you want to maybe continue, say, in Photoshop doing a bit more additional stuff. So we can save it as an unsaved star. See, it's got this name now, unsaved star recomposition result. So I've got a Elephant Trunk version 2. Let's call this version 3. Um, 32-bit floating point save. Now, I don't know if Photoshop would work with 32, but you can always change it to 16 if you want to use Photoshop. Other things like Affinity will work with it. And then maybe you want to save this as a JPEG already. You can do that as well.
Yeah, okay.
JPEG. Elephant Trunk Nebula version 2. Let's call it version 3. Quality is the highest quality. All right, that's it.
Okay.
So I would definitely go. So that's as far as I would go in Siril.
All right. Would
So
you take this then over to Affinity or Photoshop and do some small okay?
So just to show you quickly, if I go and just load that star, I just want to show you that star resynthesis. Are you interested in that?
Okay.
Why is it only giving me these? No, clicking on the wrong thing. Open. So let's load the star mask. Okay. Let's just see what the stretch does to that. Yeah. All right. So what you do is you go to image processing, star processing, full resynthesis. Oh, no. Stop. Didn't want to do that. Oh, it's running them all. Good grief. Oh. don't know what it's done. Process aborted by user. What I wanted to do was click on that cog. This is that point spread fraction. These are the standard settings. If you click on this, now it's finding stars. So there it's found all the stars.
Yo, that's quick.
Yeah. Okay. So then you can actually close this and then you run the full resynthesis. Now, I don't think these stars are not round, but just as a just as a demonstration.
It's the first time I've seen this software to make stars round.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else has done anything like this. But a guy on YouTube did a quick video on it, like a 8-minute video or something, of stars that was an image that he'd given up ever going to process. You know, something that obviously happened in his tracking, and all these stars were in a quite elongated.
Yeah.
But his data was good. You know, his nebulosity data was good.
Mm.
So he showed the final result looked incredible.
Mm.
So this is taking time.
Derek, what does it do if the stars have got diffraction spikes on them?
It might not select them, but it would also so it does a PSF for that star. If it selects the one with the diffraction spikes, it would make a round star out of it. The spikes would be gone. So anyway, I don't want to waste everybody's time, but let's give it a few seconds and hope it's going to finish. It's got to resynthesize all these stars. I don't know how long that's going to take. Anyway, if anybody's interested in trying this, if you've got data that's had a tracking problem, but you really want to try and make a good image out of it, the nebulosity is good, try it. But you've got to play, I found you've got to play a lot with the settings, you know, otherwise it becomes very unrealistic and so on. You can, there's a couple of YouTube videos on how to optimize this and make it look more realistic and so on once you've done. I'm going to just stop this.
Okay.
All right. So then I'm going to exit out of this. I don't know if you quickly, what I also did, I'll just maybe just show you the images that I processed. These are various attempts. This is our version 3 now. This is the one I did earlier today. You see, I had the stars much dimmer there. That's too dim. This I did an additional processing in. Just open it up. Can you see this image?
Yes.
Okay. So this I just took it into Lightroom and I went and took Viveza, the Nick Viveza, and just enhanced the saturation of some of the colors and stuff a bit. And I actually used Viveza to take out the green that was still there. I didn't remove the green in Siril. I made this sort of darker there. And then actually, just go. So then this is the one that I did the topaz denoise on. I used the severe noise. It's the same image, the Lightroom process image, just with a topaz denoise. If we enlarge this a bit, just to look at See, this topaz, it retains pretty accurately the nebulosity detail, and it smoothed out that noise beautifully.
Mm.
The stars still look fairly sharp. The colors are there. I think this topaz denoise is just incredible the way it works. So
Yeah.
there, you remember that noisiness that was still there, Dion?
Yeah.
It's gone now. It's gone.
Yeah. Yeah. I must agree with you, Derek. It's the only denoising algorithm I use now in Photoshop is Topaz, and it does an excellent job.
All right. So I would suggest if anybody's interested, can go download, just Google Siril beta download. You'll find it's under the GitHub. I think it's sort of open source website. And you'll find that the new Siril for Windows or whatever you use to run your computer. It's got everything. You can do Linux, you can do anything. And I just think it's fantastic, all the new functions. And I've still got to learn a lot of the adjustments and how to perfect it.
Yeah. Well, look, I immediately noticed that you've got stuff on this version, which I haven't got, and it looks very powerful.
I see we've got some messages here. Willie Koorts wants the workflow. I'll send you the workflow. It's also got the download details for Blair's images if you want to work on those.
Yeah, I would also prefer.
Okay, I'll send these to everybody.
Yeah.
So Tim Cooper says, have you tried using Siril for aperture photometry? What's that, Tim? Explain to us.
Okay, so you mentioned that you can put a ring around the star and you can smooth it, or you can circularize it. What I use image processing for is to actually measure the characteristics of the star. So in other words, the amount of light that's in that star image. So what you do there is you just put an annulus around the star, then you put a second annulus a little bit further around the sky background, and you integrate the total amount of the pixel count within those two annuli, subtract the sky from the star, and what's left over then is the amount of light that's in the star. So you can use that then to actually determine magnitudes of objects in the field.
Is that a sort of a pixel math process?
Yes. Well, it's basically you integrating the total pixel count within that annulus. So you'll set the annulus just slightly larger than the star, so that you make sure that you've got all the light that you've captured in that star within that annulus, and then just integrate the total pixel count within that circle.
What program do you use to do that?
I've got two programs. I use AIP, Astronomical Image Processing, yes, which is from Richard Berry.
Yeah, that's quite expensive, isn't it?
Well, it's
I
not
looked at that.
anymore.
It's about 5,000 Rand now, I think.
Well, I think when I got it, it was something like about $35.
Yeah.
You know, when I got it, the program is worth getting it just for the manual. The manual is 680 pages, and it's literally a tutorial on image processing. So it's worth it just for that. But he doesn't. The book's out of print. It's not available anymore. You can download. You can download AIP, but there's no support for it. So
okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking of another program. Okay. All right. Great. And the other one you use?
I'm trying to think.
PictInsight or one of those?
Sorry.
Which is the other software you use for that? You said you use two.
Yeah, I do. And the other one slipped my mind right now. I just can't think of it off the top of my head.
Anyway, what you were describing there, I think that this is the process that Siril is actually using to do that full resynthesis. It takes each star that it's got, it goes and checks what light is, how blue, what the intensity is, how much blue and how much red and whatever is in it. And if you've got a star with a blown out core, for example, it actually assumes that you know, on the edges where it's not blown out, it takes that data there and recreates the star looking not blown out, with the data from the edge. As somebody on YouTube explained, I haven't seen how to do it exactly. What's that there?
I think this is the book that Tim is talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, exactly.
Image processing. All right.
The likelihood of this book ever being reprinted is about 0 right now.
It must be quite expensive now. It looks like be well over R1,000.
Well, it's
If you had to get it done.
like 680 odd pages worth. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I have a little question here.
Yeah.
I noticed in areas where there's some sort of detail in the nebulosity where you've got different densities or intensities there, that I can see that it's actually patched together areas of slightly different luminosity with like rectangular regions, and there's detail within the region, and I'm just wondering.
Yeah, look, this processing I've done is not perfect. I'm sure you could do a much better job. If
I
you
thought
spend
the
time on it.
got rid of that,
Yeah, I was probably in too much of a hurry with my stretching and so on, and not being careful enough. And there's a lot of other things you can do. I just want to show you something else. I just want to open up Siril again. If it opens, come on. There we go. Let's open, say, just one of the nebulosity starless images. Let's take this one. All said. Right, then there's a thing called, this is not a good example, I think, but we'll just try it. There's another thing here called, by the way, you've got wavelet sharpening here as well. And you can actually use Siril for planets, but it's not ideal for it. For stacking planets from a movie. I'm just trying to think what this thing is called. Contrast limited adaptive histogram equalization. Just if you take this, you see it's already done a bit of a increased contrast there. If I take off a preview, can you see that? You see how I jumped there? And you can actually make this quite ridiculous here. You can go by upping these clip limits. I mean, just to show how far it can go. Ridiculous. If you take it up, ridiculous. It goes crazy. So this is another thing they've got here, which is a new thing. I think it's a new thing. I haven't seen it before. So here I've got it at fairly low things. So yeah, look, this is a very well stretched image. It's not the right sort of thing to do this on. But just to show you a demonstration of this particular command. You see it brought out a lot of the noise there as well now. All right, cancel. All right, I just thought that's just one of the, I mean, if you just look at this menu, and then of course, you've got this command line thing here. Just want to minimize this again. Typing help here will bring the list of supported commands. I actually printed it. There's a whole long list of commands, and you can use those commands to write your own scripts. See, here's a guy that did a fixed misshape and stars, and star reduction. He used, for that fixed misshape and stars, he used that point spread function and added in a Gaussian thing, and slightly different to that, less drastic and less radical than that star reconvolution, whatever one was. So yeah, there are other people that have written a lot of scripts that they give you for free as well if you want to run those. So there's a huge amount of versatility in this and quite a lot to learn. And I think, you know, it's a free program, and I think they're trying to get closer to something like PixInsight. And I think they're not too far off what PixInsight can do nowadays. And I mean, PixInsight also costs, I think, over 4,000 right now. And this is free. Unbelievable what you can do with this. All right. How are we for time? Have we got time to quickly look at a planetary processing?
If you're up to it.
Okay. Sorry.
Derek, I personally have to go, but I mean, there's no reason why you can't.
All right, I'm
on
recording
others.
it, and I'll send the recording link.
Thanks very much, Derek. That's great.
All
Okay.
right.
Cheers for now. Good night, everybody. Thanks for attending.
Good night, Peter.
So I did a thing on the moon using this Astrosurface. It's also, you know, I was using Registack to try and stack movies and stuff, and even a few moon images and so on, and I couldn't get it right anymore, and there's no support for it and so on. Then somebody found this Astrosurface. Now, I took a movie with my Fujifilm camera of the moon the other day, and then I found out this thing only loads AVI or SER films. So then I had to Google that, and I found this program called PIP, P-I-P-P. You load your .move file. This is one of the sun. And then you don't need that open. Then you've got various things you can do, but I just went to the output, checked, yeah, okay, AVI file is selected there. I just want an AVI movie. And then you go to do processing, and then you click on start processing, and the thing runs here and it says complete. So that converts it then to a usable form for Astrosurface. Sorry, I've already had that open, I think. Yeah. All right. So then open file. This is fairly quick. I just want to go straight to, I'm in a different place. Where did I have moon? Somewhere there's a movie here. This is the PIP processed. So this is the AVI movie now. So you load that, and you say, I think you could just say, okay, here. And this is the right one. And then you can say, suppose you can, no, you can't edit image tools. You can, analyze register. Come on. Analyze register, no rotation. Okay. So here you see it's got numbers. This is sort of order that you must go through. Set your stuff. All right. So you want number one, detect planet with this. So there's detected it immediately. All right. Now you probably want to, for sharpening, draw, at least for stacking and so on, draw. I don't know, you could probably leave it that without drawing a region of, what is it, region of influence, ROI. Then you analyze it. Wait, you want to, No, it's not letting you. You've got to draw it on. So you say select an area like that, and then you analyze. And it analyzes, there's your line going through. And it's going to come up with a, I should have said open graph. Is this post-it thing? Yeah, I think I can close that. Come on, why are you going again? So it's essentially analyzing and rearranging all the images in a movie from best to worst. And then you select the number of those that you want to use.
Now this is purely now for planetary purposes.
For planetary processing. So what this advantage of this program is, it stacks from a movie, and you can do wavelet processing. So unfortunately, you know, this is not I couldn't save part of the file in part of the process, so we've got to just wait for it. So you get to, you see here under image tools, you've got all these, a massive amount of options here. Hey, it's still got a long way to go.
4,800 images.
Yeah. See, I could have put that, decreased that, limited the amount of images. Should have done that. Don't know if you can do it now.
So what exactly is it doing when it's analyzing?
So it's taking every image in the movie, and it's seeing how sharp it is, how bright it is, and so on, and it's stacking it, giving it a sort of a ranking, and then stacks them in order, and then graphs it for you. And then you can see from that graph, okay, sort of 2/3 of them are the best, you know, are pretty good. The rest go downhill sharply. So we select that 2/3 or even 40%. I mean, 40% of, you know, 4,000 is still over 1,000 images or whatever. 2,000, yeah.
Normally what they do is a fast Fourier analysis of each image, and that translates the spatial to a frequency domain, and the high frequency indicates the amount of detail that is in the image. And so with that number, they can then rank them.
Okay, that it must be something like that then. I wasn't aware of exactly how it works, but
But I mean, it's quite computationally intensive to do the analysis. So
yeah, okay, it's already 2/3 of the way with all those. Let's just have a look at my CPU. I've got 16 gigabytes of memory. It's using 8 of that. Not bad for a laptop. Look at this. 60–70% CPU. Got too many things open here as well. I think let's close some of these. It's nearly there, folks. Thanks for your patience. I mean, I could show you the end result, but that doesn't help. We need to, you know, I want to show you how the wavelets works and so on.
Oh, we're nearly there.
Almost there, almost there. Yay, there's the graph. All right. So if you shift these lines You can sort of, well, I think the ranking goes down to the right, Chris. So this is now set at about 50%. So let's just say that's okay. Let's do those. Let's take a bit less to make it faster. And we say, okay. So that's number 3 done. And then you can select stacking method. I'm not sure, mean, median, maximum, sigma clipping. Anybody got any ideas of whether any of these would be better than mean? And then you've got alignment mode, global or multi-points. Multi-points, I think you want to use global, I think. For this, it's a one moon thing. All right, and then that's done, that's done. Align RGB channels. Hazardous for deep sky. Okay, this is not deep sky. So then you go stack. Hopefully stack doesn't take too long. Takes a while. So let's just give it a minute and see how long it takes. Otherwise, we just go to the, there we go. So you've got an option here to put text in your file name as well. Or you can just change that afterwards. Once you've done that, you can go to edit or image tools, filters, geometry, all kinds of things. Yeah, I should have selected much less. But if you think of it, you know, it's stacking 2,244 images.
I think the registering takes more time.
Yeah. Of course, you can also do darks and flats, which I didn't have. This particular sensor on this camera, it's either very dirty or else it's got a lot of damaged pixels and so on. Because the one I did of that movie of the sun I was looking at just now, I took that today, and then I tried to run a stack on that, and there's a couple of sunspots you can see. There's so many other black spots moving across the movie from there, you know, so I really needed to do flats and darks and stuff like that. All right, it's nearly there, nearly there. Thank you for your patience. Your custom is important to us. What do they say? Come on, last bit. So normally you're not sitting here on Zoom, you're going to make a cup of coffee. How many people have we still got? We still got 7 participants. You're all very patient.
Eric, this program is called PIPP.
No, that was the program I used to convert the .mov file to .avi. This program is called, Surf something. I'll check where's the name? There's no name here about, you can't. Surf Stack, something like that.
Wasn't it Astrosurface?
Astrosurface, that's it, yeah. Astrosurface, good memory.
Yeah, PIPP can of course also align the images. As you say, it can do a lot of stuff. that
Yeah,
one's already doing, but if you just want to convert it, that's probably quick and dirty, yes.
yeah. I think I don't know what the wavelets and stuff are like in that program, but this one it seems quite. You can do simple stuff, or you could. Oh, there it's done. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So now, what is this?
I've never figured out this wavelets thing. So
All right. So
it's
now we
all
can go to. I've done that. Oh, exit. And then we can go to. I think you can crop just by edit, image tools. Well, you can do levels and stuff. How do I now edit? You don't want to add noise, image tools. Sorry, I'm just looking for the, how do I select the menu? Edit. Viewer. Sorry, now I did this once a couple of days ago, and now I can't work out how to do it.
Let's find out where it put the output file. Because you closed that window and maybe there was
Oh,
something.
did I close that? Oh, goodness.
Or maybe it had something that said where it must be put, or how it must be named.
This must be it, yeah. I went and, no, it's gone all wrong. Oh, good grief. All right, just for the sake of demonstration, it just, so you've got the noise and sharpening, which does a basic. There's a noise pre-filter. Select an ROI. Noise pre-filter, reduce noise. Let's actually, I'm sure we can do a crop somewhere as well. Anyway, clean calendar. Okay, then sharpen. This is a basic thing. It's not the detailed wavelets one. You go to say 3 and you crank that up. Not doing anything. Oh, I haven't done my selection. Can you see the way it's sharpening up there? Okay, let's just cancel that one. Cancel. Let's take another one. If you do jump right to, right, okay, we got levels. Let's do levels. Let's see, it's automatically done this. That's better. Let us zoom it a bit. Oh, there's a crop there. Okay. Crop. All right, so you can do all that. I knew you could do that. All right. View channels. Out of this, obviously some color channels gone wrong there. I had that color channel thing selected there. I think that shouldn't have been selected. Okay, so that's done. Then you've got various things like gamma gain and a lot of things here. You can rotate it. Levels we've done. We've done noise sharp. I just had a look at it, what it can do.
Okay, you even got, saturation, all kinds of things, yeah. Let's just look at that quickly. Again, you've probably got to do a regional. Let's reduce it, see what it does. Yeah, it takes it away. Looks more like a moon. Desaturate, please. Okay. All right, then there's a sharpen. So there's multiple different ways of actually sharpening. Pixel size, then this is your sharpening. Yep, I think that's too far. That's too far. All right. And then just to show you the other, these, Vina and R. Lucid, I think those are for other things. So this is the wavelets one here. So you've got a massive amount of possibilities here. It takes quite a bit of learning. But there's wavelets high frequency, wavelets low frequency. So you see immediately there, difference. This gives you your size. So those are the two main adjustments there. And then the low frequency, is that a finer type of sharpening normally? There. So, I mean, this is not a badly aligned image, but can you see the improvement there in the craters? So I can just show you. Let me show you an image that I had done previously. So this is aligned. No, this is the one we've just done. Okay, looks a bit. This is the other video I had done previously. You can see this looks a bit better. And then this is after the denoise. So there you can see it's a bit over sharpened there. And this is before the topaz denoise that was applied to it. So the topaz denoise was over sharpened. I shouldn't have sharpened it. All right. I hope you found that interesting. And yeah, I did, by the way, also find another video with another planetary stacking program, another free one, and another photograph processing software, all free, which people that don't have Adobe and don't want to pay for expensive programs, it looks like it's very close to what Lightroom can do, but it's free. So I'm going to stop sharing now. All right, thank you for your attendance. Anybody got any more questions on that?
Derek, from my side, as usual, any new software, it's quite a steep learning curve. But I think you've shown us that with the modern software available and all the new algorithms and techniques, one can do quite a lot in one program.
Yeah, you can spend hours and hours and hours, but I think once you've learned how to optimize the use of these things, it obviously helps to have decent images to start with. But it's just amazing what you can do with them nowadays.
Yeah. No, thank you very much for your effort.
Okay. So I'm going to.
This will be on YouTube, will it?
Yeah, I'll upload it now.
Okay.
And then I'll send it to Peter and ask him to email it to all the attendees.
Okay, and your work on Siril.
Yeah. Just, I don't know if we've got all your emails. I mean, Chris and Tim Cooper, we should have really good. Barney Krill, I don't know if you want to just type your email just to make sure in the chat. All right. Thanks very much for your attendance.
Thanks very much. Yeah, after the posting on the group, I did a search on the Siril and the new release, and there was a lot of good things to be said about it. So somebody's already said that, no, yeah, I don't need this and that and that and that anymore. I can just use Siril. So yes, I think it's got a bright future ahead of it, looks like.
Well, I was seriously looking at fuss baiting and buying PixInsight because it's supposed to be the best program for processing astrophotos. You know, but it's like 5,000 Rand now or something. And, you know, if you can get this thing for free, that does sort of 85–90% of what PixInsight can do.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to take me much longer to buy PixInsight.
Well, if the learning curve is so steep, it tells you that there's a lot under the bonnet. That's what.
Yeah. Yeah, but just if you download it just to look at it, then download the manual and have a look at the manual. Have a look at the mathematics behind the explanation of some of that stuff. It's just mind-boggling. You've got to be a professor to understand it all. But I mean, it does also, you know, if you don't have to understand it all to learn about it. So.
Yeah. That's
and also there are a lot of YouTube. There's one guy called Deep Space something. He does a lot of YouTube videos on Siril. And
yes, I actually joined this channel. Yeah, I saw that.
Okay. He's great. Willie, have you still got a channel?
YouTube, yeah.
Yeah.
But
didn't you do how to take apart the mirror of?
Well, yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
We've got this 14-inch here. I must talk to you about that. I want to. The mirror has been damaged, and I don't know how to get it out.
Well. Where about are you? Oh, in Hermanus.
In Hermanus, yeah. I live in Fort Clip.
Well, okay. Yes. Yeah, I regularly come through to Gansbaai, so yeah.
Okay.
Must definitely make a plan. Yeah.
Maybe we can meet up sometime. If you can just WhatsApp me when you're coming again next.
Yeah.
Where do you come from?
Wellington.
You don't go through Hermanus, or do you?
I can. I quite often actually use the other route, so to speak.
Through Caledon is probably quicker.
Through Caledon, yeah. Well, it's just.
Well, I can offer you a cup of coffee, or I don't have a beer in the fridge, but I've got wine. Depending what time of the day you arrive.
0, 2, 4, 5, 9. I can't remember my cell number anymore. I'm just putting my number in the chat so that.
Thanks. Yeah. Okay. I'll just pop you a WhatsApp so that you've got my number.
Yeah.
Thanks, Willie.
Thanks.
Great.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to
Yes. Thanks, Derek.
stop recording now.